Here is one report by the Times of India, like COVID-19 impact is turbulent times for power distribution on the sector. So this is a very important issue taken by the Power SSC. So we have expert with us. His name is Mr. Vinod Bihari ji. Vinod ji is a human resource management graduate from the XLRI Jamshedpur. Mr. Vinod Bihari ji has been a human resource management professional and possesses over 30 years of experience. He has been working in the capacity of Chief Executive Officer, Power SSC, since February 2015. So I would like to invite Mr. Vinod Bihari ji to share the screen.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. Uh, I would extend a hearty welcome to our eminent panelist we have this afternoon with us, Mr. J.C. Mistry from Tata Power, who heads the Skill Development Initiative of Tata Power. And Tata Power is an organization that hardly needs any introduction. The great amount of work they are doing in the field of human resource development, training, capacity building, and skill development is well known. And Mr. Mistry, in his capacity as head of skill development, has been responsible for running skilling operations across 7 or 8 centers, and he would be sharing his experiences. Welcome, Mr. Mistry. We have Mr. Saptarshi Roy, former Director HR from NTPC Limited. NTPC again is an organization that hardly needs any introduction. It's a major player in power sector. And Mr. Saptarshi Roy, in his capacity of Director HR, has been leading a number of progressive human resource development initiative, including bringing NTPC in the league of best managed company like Great Places to Work, etc., to name a few. We extend you a most hearty welcome, both of you, and also all of our audiences who have joined us in this webinar. As the subject has been introduced by Brijesh, it is organized in the context of challenges posed by COVID-19, particularly for power sector, and in the context of skill development and capacity building. How exactly, what is our level of preparedness? How are we going to deal with it? What are the alternatives? Will be the key issues that we will be debating and discussing today. But at the outset, we would like to pay tribute to our power warriors. In spite of the successive spells of lockdown and difficulties that we have been faced with, you have hardly seen any power cut in your respective homes. When you are confined to your homes, then importance of electricity becomes very high. You need to enjoy the comforts within your home, all electrical gadgets. You need to listen to regular news bulletins, etc., for which power is an absolute necessity. And I'm absolutely sure the power warriors of our country, led by organizations such as NTPC and Tata Power, have certainly not let us down. They have ensured uninterrupted supply and availability of power, and thus kept us sufficiently preoccupied during our days inside home during this lockdown period. So we put on record our gratitude and thanks to our power warriors. Power distribution, transmission, distribution, generation, everyone. Now, coming to the main theme of the discussion today, the impact of COVID-19 in terms of all pervasive damages that it has caused hardly needs any emphasis. We all know what happened around middle of March, when Prime Minister announced Bharat Janata curfew on 22nd of March, followed by announcement of first phase of lockdown on 24th March. We all went into a complete hibernation. All our activities, wealth creation activities, generation of power, distribution, transmission, and related activities, however, continued as being an essential service provider. But otherwise, the activities which could be suspended completely went off the mark. And as a result, the damage to the economy has been very, very significant. They're talking of negative GDP growth. They're talking of roughly 20-25% of unemployment having happened during this phase. Our lifestyle having undergone a significant change. We have learned to live under a fear and anxiety syndrome, which is taking a toll in terms of our productivity and output. So all these things we are witnessing. How exactly the skilling ecosystem in power sector has been impacted, we will discuss those things. So talking about the skill ecosystem, we have a hierarchy of organization in India, beginning with the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and NSDC. Then under them, we have about 35 sector skill councils who spearhead skilling initiatives in their respective segments. Then thousands and thousands of training providers are spread over the almost entire length and breadth of the country. Training participants who are our most important stakeholders for whom we conduct the training and skilling initiative, enabling them to acquire the much needed skill sets, which finally enables them to get meaningfully employed. And then assessment bodies, certification, awarding bodies, they are all there. So they are all stakeholders in our skilling ecosystem. Now, according to a rough estimate in organized skilling ecosystem, coming under this NSDC purview, nearly 10 lakh trainings, persons who should have been trained during till the Q1 of the current financial year have lost this training opportunity. And roughly about 50 to 60% of them who get employed consequent upon successful completion of the training program. So those many employment opportunities have been lost. So roughly about 6 lakhs employment opportunity that could have been created have been lost. Now, I'll share specific figures about Power Sector Skill Council, where till Q1, till June end, current month June, the loss of the training, the lost opportunity in terms of skill development is roughly about 10,000 persons, and 6,000 of them would have been trained under what we call STT, short-term training, which is roughly ranging between 200 to 400 hours, and on completion of training who undergo mandatory assessment and certification, and thereafter are helped with job placements. So those 6,000 person who could have been gainfully employed post successful completion of the training have lost this opportunity. Another 4,000 are the people who are trained under a scheme called RPL, Recognition of Prior Learning. It's a in-service training provision to reskill and upskill them while they continue to work in their respective organization. So those 4,000 reskilling and upskilling opportunities under RPL have also been lost. So that's another significant loss to the power sector fraternity. People who would have undergone training and upon completion of training would have got meaningful employment and would have continued gainfully to the sector, those opportunities have been lost. In financial terms, till Q1, we have lost a gross revenue of the order of about 8 to 9 crores. So for a small organizations like a Sector Skill Council, this is a very, very severe blow. And we only hope, as of now, we are not in a position to make any reasonable guess as to when we shall be able to resume our skilling operations, because even though the fourth phase of lockdown has concluded and we are now unlock phase 1, but still the academic institutions, skill development training institutions, they are all they have not yet been permitted to resume their operations. As a result, they continue to remain shut and putting all the stakeholders into a state of suspension. So while it is very difficult to guess any reason, any specific figure of loss of such opportunity, but it is definitely sure that the kind of blow, kind of impact it is going to cause, and it has already caused, will be very severe. And we in Power Sector Skill Council are working on an assumption that from Q3 we would be able to resume our skilling operations, so that at least we can make good some lost ground, and Q3 and Q4 we perform our normal or at least subnormal skilling activities, which would kind of partly compensate for the opportunities lost in Q1 and Q2. But yet we cannot say with any certainty. We have to wait and watch. That situation of wait and watch continues, and we are only praying and hoping that normalcy would resume from Q3 anytime during Q3, which would in turn enable us to begin our operations. Now, how are we going to deal? How are we dealing, and how do we plan to deal with this situation? That's the issue. In a very limited way, we have begun our operations related to assessment and certification. The NSDC guidelines has permitted Sector Skill Council to resume assessment and certification activities on a distant mode in a contactless fashion, which is what we have begun with the help of a robust technology platform developed by our assessment body, stakeholders in assessment body. We have begun, we rolled out a pilot batch, and we are going to take it further. The training of trainers, training of assessors is an important enabling activities, and hopefully we will continue with that till the lockdown, till complete normalcy gets resumed. So that is one area where we are partly trying to compensate for the lost opportunity. Second one is attempting to conduct training for the participants. So restrictions still continue, but we are gearing up to deliver training in a distant mode. With the larger use of technology such as audio-visual films, simulation-based trainings, etc., etc. But the real challenge is that in a skilling initiative, skills in facts are all about acquiring competencies based on hands-on exposure. So no skill can be said to have been perfectly acquired until the participant works hands-on and he is able to practice the skill hands-on and then moves on to perform the job. So in a theoretical fashion, we can cover up to a certain extent, and we are hoping that we will add some bit of practical exposure with the help of audio-visual films and with the help of simulation-based training. So I would in fact request other co-panelists and participants to please suggest ways and means as to how can we scale this up in our own interest and in the larger interest of the nation and power sector. That is another thing. And third one that we are going to do in case the lockdown continues and putting us into a state of suspension continues, then we are preparing to move a step further and in fact shift to a new target audience of senior level engineers and professionals in power sector, for whom short duration training followed by assessment and certification can be delivered on online and distant mode, for which we have necessary delivery capacities in terms of faculty, in terms of course curriculum and all those things. So the training will be followed by assessment and certification, and post completion of the training we will be in a position to issue certificate of successful completion to these participants, who would be largely drawn from engineering graduates and working professionals who are already there. So these are some of the ways that we have thought how we will deal with should the COVID-19 and the suspension of activities continue. We could deal with the situation in a limited way, but still, the situation of gloom continues, and we are kind of waiting and watching, praying and hoping that normalcy resumes, which would enable us to begin our normal activities. And with that, I would conclude my presentation and would request Brijesh to take it forward. Thank you.
थैंक यू विनोद जी, बहुत अच्छी इंफॉर्मेशन आपने हमारे ऑडियंस को साथ शेयर की है।